Welcome to Backstage Pass, Rockstar Pro Wrestling's official podcast. It's the ultimate opportunity to look behind the scenes at Rockstar Pro and hear from the wrestlers themselves. Now here are your hosts, Chris Poland and Mark Turner.
Greetings and welcome. This is episode 47 of Backstage Pass, Rockstar Pro Wrestling's official podcast.
Well done. Beautiful intro there, Bork. I mean, you're getting great at this. You're getting better each and every month, I must say.
Are you patronizing me?
No, absolutely not. I mean, 47 episodes in, you almost sound like a pro now. That's really good.
You're just trying to push my buttons, so I'm going to move on. This, obviously, is Mark Turner.
Hello, hello.
I am Bork Torkelson, and we are here to prepare you for A Killer Xmas. We're going to talk about A Killer Xmas. We're going to talk about what's gone on in the past month here at Rockstar Pro, because it's been a crazy month.
Yeah, it certainly has. I mean, we just had Thanksgiving. I mean, I just ate a bunch of turkey. I said what I was thankful for. I'm thankful for Rockstar Pro Wrestling. I mean, How great has Rockstar Pro been this past month?
It's been great this past year.
Yeah,
I gotta
absolutely.
Say. That's actually one of the most sincere, genuine things I've heard you say. You know, I, as well, am grateful, thankful even, for Rockstar Pro.
Yeah, and November Coming Fire, we talk about the great line of iPay-per-views.
Right.
The run Rockstar Pro has been on. November Coming Fire was no different. This was a great show. It was off the charts.
It absolutely was. So let's take you back to the very beginning of the month of November, as we are taping this on the last day of November.
That's right.
Let's go back to the very beginning, November Coming Fire. It was a great card. It kicked off with Ron Mathis, who I believe was supposed to be facing Alex Colon.
Yeah, once again,
Alex no-showed.
Mysteriously doesn't show up when he's supposed to face Ron Mathis. We've seen that at times.
Yeah, wrestling must not be that important to him.
Oh,
so
I wouldn't say that.
Mathis bravely comes out to the ring and makes an open challenge. He says, listen, anybody who's never been on pay-per-view before, you come on out here, and if you can beat Ron Mathis, one half of the Rockstar Pro Tag Team Champions, then you've made a name for yourself.
He had to put that little caveat out there of if you've never been on an iPay-per-view before.
Sure, this is a massive opportunity for our young wrestlers in the locker room.
And one man did take advantage of that situation, and it was Daniel Winchester. I mean, this guy, he's been impressive. He's been getting better each and every week, each and every time he steps foot in that ring, and he gave Ron Mathis a run for his money in that match.
He did, you know. I was never really worried, but, you know, it was a good showing. This guy has strong amateur wrestling fundamentals, sound fundamentals. He's learning, right?
Certainly.
And he is getting better, but there was no way he was going to beat Ron Mathis.
Well, it was close, but Ron Mathis did wind up on top.
He put him in that torture rack. Once you're in the rack attack, it's all over.
It was over. No doubt about it, I must admit.
And after that, we saw a newcomer here at Rockstar Pro.
Yeah, we saw Shane Saber, easy for me to say, from Canada.
And you're sure it's not Sabre?
I am not sure. I have no idea. I can't remember anymore. Okay. It's Saber, right? He's not related to Zach Sabre Jr. No. He's not related to any Sabre that I'm aware of. But Shane Saber went one-on-one with Pompano Joe, a bad dude. And in the end, Pompano Joe was victorious.
Yeah, you know, I think the Rockstar Nation really appreciated Shane Saber's effort and his energy, his enthusiasm. But, you know, one homie driver, and that's the end of that one.
Yeah, and after that, we saw a crazy matchup here.
Yeah.
Too Tough Tony went one-on-one with John Murray. And how about that matchup? Too Tough Tony set his hand on fire and punched John Murray. I don't think anybody's ever said those words before. That's insane.
Yeah, that was insane. You know, I love to see Murray lose. I love to see Murray set on fire. But man, did it stink in here when John Murray's hair was burning.
Wait, well, I was going to talk about when Too Tough Tony set his hand on fire, but yeah.
Well, I mean, he punched him right in the face and his hair got on fire. I mean, it's no big surprise.
It was a crazy matchup, no doubt about it.
Yeah, and the worst part of that Too Tough Tony versus John Murray match was that Samantha Heights joined us on commentary.
Well, of course you would say that, yeah.
You know, she was this close to stabbing me, Mark.
I noticed that. That would have been pretty awesome, yeah.
Really? You want to see me get stabbed?
I think the commentary might go up a little bit. If it's just me and Sam all the time, that'd be pretty cool.
You know, you started off this episode on such a nice note.
I was talking about your podcast ability. I mean, it's improved greatly. I mean,
so you think I'm a good podcaster but not a good color commentator?
You said it.
Can we just move on?
Yeah, let's move on. Another match that happened at November Coming Fire was Trigger Trey Miguel. He defeated Remy Wilkins, Mr. All-Purpose, in that matchup at November Coming Fire. That was a good one.
That one was back and forth, super, super fast. Trey just got a real quick roll-up in there at the very end. It really could have gone either way. But in a match that wasn't going to go either way, in one where the outcome was very predictable, Jeremiah defeated Bruce Gray to retain the American Lucha Core Championship.
What a vicious, vicious matchup that was. I mean, Bruce Gray brought everything he could, and in the end, Jeremiah got so desperate with how much Bruce Gray was bringing that he attempted to suffocate Bruce Gray.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's desperation. I would say it's understanding the rules and doing anything you can to defeat your opponent.
Well, I mean, there are some lines you just don't cross, even in professional wrestling. Even though it's no disqualification outside the ring, you don't attempt to end a man's life out there.
I don't think he was trying to kill him. I think he was just trying to cut off his oxygen supply temporarily.
That's it? Oh, temporarily?
Yeah.
Jeremiah did whatever he could to retain the American Lucha Core Championship, and that match was just off the charts insane.
Oh, it was incredible. It was as violent as they come, and it once again proves that point that I've made time and time and time again. Jeremiah's made it as well. Bruce Gray and championship gold do not mix.
Well, I totally disagree with that, but Jeremiah has been on a roll. I'll give him that. He's right when he says that it's all about him right now in Rockstar Pro. And if you ask me, that match at November Coming Fire, that stole the show that night.
It was amazing. And after that, Bro Warriors defeated Fight or Flight. I'll withhold my comments on Bro Warriors for the moment.
Yeah, I guess we'll not talk about that, but that was a great tag team matchup there, and on that night the Bro Warriors came out on top. And at the time, I thought they were going to try to stake claim to another shot at the Rockstar Pro Tag Team
Championships. Yeah, but you thought wrong, as usual. And in an amazing match, this is my choice for match of the night, maybe tied with Mathis Winchester. Zachary Wentz defeated newcomer to Rockstar Pro, the young sensation, Kobe Durst. Hit him with the old stank biscuit, and that was the end of that.
And Kobe Durst, this kid's only like 20, 21 years old.
He's a youngster.
He's really young, but really talented. And we saw that on full display at November Coming Fire. He went one-on-one with another young great in Zachary Wentz.
Right.
And that was a great matchup right there.
Yeah, it truly was. Lots of high-flying action, very fast-paced, and Wentz locked on that submission, and that's all she wrote.
Yep, that it was. But that wasn't it. We also had in our main event, all-ego Ethan Page going one-on-one with the baddest man alive, Aaron Williams, and in the end, Ethan Page came out on top.
Yeah, he did, but the match, as great as it was, wasn't even the most, I think, intriguing portion. After the match,
I agree with you on this.
When Ethan Page, tried to go for the handshake with Williams was not having it, and he put a bit of a beat down on Ethan Page.
Yeah, that he did. I mean, Aaron Williams, in the middle of this huge losing streak right here, I mean, it's clearly affecting him. He's not himself at all. And we saw it at November Coming Fire. He's taking out his frustrations on Ethan Page, and then Trey Miguel came out, tried to talk some sense into Aaron, but Aaron was having none of it.
No, it seems that OI4K is falling apart at the seams. Not only did Aaron beat up Trey after his match, he hit him with flaming nunchucks.
Yeah, that says it all right there. I mean, Trey Miguel and Aaron Williams. I mean, Trey Miguel's always looked up to Aaron Williams as a leader, like a father figure almost. And Aaron treats him that way. It's unbelievable. I don't know what Trey's thinking right now.
Well, here's the thing, is this conflict between Aaron Williams and Trey Miguel did not end at November Coming Fire. Aaron continued to attack and beat up and just punish Trey Miguel over the last few weeks.
Yeah, and Aaron Williams, he's clearly crossed that line. We saw for weeks during this losing streak, he'd have moments of frustration, but then he'd come back to his senses. Clearly at November Coming Fire, he crossed that line, and there's no going back, at least for the time being. Because he just continues to attack Trey week after week. I still don't really even know why. Trey Miguel just tried to talk some sense into him after that matchup.
Well, maybe Aaron saw that as Trey sticking his nose where it didn't belong. But I do want to point out here that Williams, since then, has secured his first singles victory in months after defeating Daniel Winchester.
Yeah, he beat Daniel Winchester, but just defeating him and ending that losing streak didn't take the burden off of him. He's still this new Aaron Williams walking around here right now.
Well, let's get to the most important stuff, Mark, and that's my family.
Oh, yeah.
When it comes to the tag team champions,
yeah,
Ron Mathis and Jake Crist. Well, Jake had an important announcement. The Freebird rule will now apply to the tag team champions, Jake Crist, Ron Mathis, and Clayton Jackson, who has joined up with us. Clayton is now an official tag team champion at Rockstar Pro.
Yeah, this is what we're talking about earlier with the Bro Warriors. Clayton Jackson turning his back on Darren De Niro in the middle of a tag team match.
Oh, it was awesome.
Taking the lollipop, the sucker, whatever you call it, from Jake.
They're synonymous.
And I still can't believe this. And Clayton Jackson, without winning a single match in the Foundation and the Crist and the Revolution, whatever they're called.
We'll get there.
Without winning a single match, he's now a champion, a tag team champion?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Well, believe it, Mark, because it's reality. And speaking of reality, the reality at Rockstar right now is that Zachary Wentz is the Rockstar Pro World Champion. He defeated Dave for the world title with a devastating curb stomp on November 9th of this year.
Yeah, for anybody that's been living under a rock and missed the announcement, I mean, Dave Crist just had a hard-fought singles matchup on Amped, and immediately after the match, Zachary Wentz comes out, beats him down, and then invokes his number one contendership rights into a championship match right then and there. I don't think anybody in the world knew that Zachary Wentz could invoke that whenever he saw fit. Well, I knew he's number one contender, but I didn't know he could cash it in whenever.
Zachary sure knew.
Apparently, maybe when Jake Crist is the general manager behind the scene.
Jake knew.
Yeah, Jake knew, and I guess, or Jake made the rules on the fly, whatever you see fit.
On, get off it.
And either way, Zachary Wentz ended up defeating Dave. Dave put up a fight and still almost won, despite having a hard-fought match right before it. But still, Zachary Wentz is the Rockstar Pro World Champion. I still can't believe I'm saying those words.
It's great. It's amazing. And just as big as that, I'd say, when it comes to news.
Yeah?
The Foundation no longer exists, Mark.
What's the deal with this, by the way?
We accomplished what we had set out to accomplish as the Foundation.
Okay,
nearly a year ago, which was to make Rockstar Pro Wrestling the best wrestling company on the planet. And you know what? We have taken off since then. We have put on the best shows we ever have. Our iPay-per-views are the best they've ever been. We even have a contract now for national television exposure.
Okay.
So the Foundation did what it intended to do. Now it's all about Crist and the Revolution. It's still me, it's still Mathis, it's Clay, it's Jake, and it's Zach.
Okay.
But we're the Revolution, Mark.
Sami Callihan's not in the mix?
Of course Sammy's still in the mix.
Okay.
He just isn't here every week like the people I just mentioned.
So you're the Revolution Foundation, whatever, they're taking
Crist and the Revolution.
They're taking all of the credit for Rockstar Pro having great iPay-per-views, having good buy rates, and
I wouldn't say all of the credit, Mark, but a substantial amount of the credit, sure.
So that's what the Foundation's goals were about, right?
Making this company better, making wrestling great for everyone.
So they accomplished that, so now they're just about Crist and themselves.
Well, you know what? That will reveal itself as Jake sees fit, okay?
Okay.
We are the Revolution, and this time, the Revolution will be televised.
Ooh, creative. Very creative.
Well,
I like that. Well, there's been a lot going on in Amped. We talked about November Coming Fire, but we also had the Thanksgiving Classic this year, didn't we?
That's right, the Thanksgiving Classic, where we have that traditional 5-on-5 elimination tag team match.
That ended in an odd way, didn't it?
It was a weird one. The team captains were the franchise, Shane Douglas, and the legendary, perhaps most evil man in wrestling, the devil himself, Sullivan.
Yeah, Kevin
Sullivan. And this was a weird one, right? There were plenty of people on Franchise's team, plenty of people on Sullivan's team. The last three competitors where Franchise was left all alone, and Jeremiah and Sullivan were left on their team. Jeremiah had complete control of Shane Douglas.
Yeah.
He could have finished him at any time, but he invited Kevin Sullivan to come into the ring and make the pin, right? He was showing respect to his elder. And Sullivan just decides, let's beat up Jeremiah. Let's let Douglas pin him. And I'm going to switch sides. Suddenly I'm on the other team. Somehow Shane Douglas and Kevin Sullivan both win despite being on opposite teams. It's madness.
Well, sounds impossible. But, Jeremiah's always talking about how it's only about him. I guess he was taught a little bit of a lesson there by the veterans. Maybe Shane Douglas and Sullivan didn't take too kindly to those words from the Juggernaut Jeremiah.
Jealous, Mark.
But that wasn't the only thing that happened at the Thanksgiving Classic. We also had Ron Mathis defeated Jake Christ in the main event for a future shot at the Rockstar Pro World Championship. And you've been talking about in this episode how OI4K is falling apart, right? Well, what about that right there? What about Christ and the Revolution? We have Mathis and Jake fighting each other for a title shot at the Thanksgiving Classic.
Mark, the Revolution has never been stronger. We've never been more televised. And you're right. OI4K is falling apart. That whole organization, they've seen better days and they've come upon tough times. So what I did is I put out the word, Mark. I said,
what was that?
This episode on the Backstage Pass, all of OI4K are welcome to join us for the Spotlight.
Hey, I love that. For once, I love your idea for the guest on the Spotlight segment of the Backstage Pass. Hey, let's bring them on. Let's bring them all in here.
Let's see who shows up.
Oh, this is good.
It's time for the Rockstar Wrestler Spotlight.
All right, so as I have sent out the invitation to OI4K, we see that a fraction of the Ohio is for Killers has shown up. Joining us for the Spotlight, we have Unleashed Dezmond Xavier, or the Cardiac Kid. I'm sorry. I don't know what you're known by these days.
Just know that I'm known these days.
Okay. Freshly back from a European tour, Dezmond Xavier. We also have, I know your nickname, Trigger, Trey Miguel.
I like the way you said that.
Thank you. And we have, of course, the manager.
The Iron Manager.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The Iron Manager of Ohio 4K. Oh.
Get it out.
Are you doing all right?
Channel 7 is a
I know. Look, I know I have an aura about me, but you don't have to be nervous.
The manager of the OI4K, JT Davidson. So, I have all three of you here, and Mark. What is the deal with OI4K? What's going on? The Rockstar Nation wants to know. Is the OI4K in a shambles? Because it kind of seems that way.
Bork, is it?
Yeah,
All right. Just making sure, because you're another one that I can't figure out what you're calling yourself these days.
That's my real name.
Yeah, sure it is. So, I've got a question for you.
Okay.
How often do you sit and talk with Zachary Wentz? Since you're all brothers now.
Yeah, I mean, I am a lot.
Okay. So you know the answers to the questions that you just asked. You know exactly what's going on with the OI4K. And you know why things are the way they are for us right now. Now, I'll take it a step further.
Okay.
I am very confident that we are going to do whatever we need to do to get back on track. We have some of the best young talent in the state of Ohio. Two of them are sitting right here, Dezmond Xavier and Trey Miguel. Sorry, guys. Dave Christ, obviously still in Europe right now, in Germany, representing the Rockstar Nation and the OI4K.
That's pretty
for
convenient.
Us. Convenient.
Seems that way.
What do you mean by that? It's pretty impressive, is what you're really
Sure.
saying.
Hey, Zach was over there too. I know that you guys travel. You guys go to make a name for yourself all around the world. But, seems convenient to me that after Zach took the Rockstar Pro World Championship from Dave Christ, Dave's nowhere to be seen.
Convenience isn't the issue here. Dave is over there, like I said, representing the OI4K. Mm-hmm. I said to the Rockstar Nation last week, if Dave was still in town, I would have marched directly to the office and demanded a rematch because Dave would have taken up that mantle and he would have taken back that title. But he is not available. So guess what? I am. And I'm here to show that kid the lesson that he needed to learn, which was respect. We gave him everything that he had, and he turned his back on us. We gave him everything, and instead of staying with Dave, who everybody knew was his quote-unquote father, he's now with Uncle Jake. Mm-hmm. And instead of being the kid, he's acting like a little bitch.
Well, you still got to hang on to the kid thing. I mean, he's a grown man. He's older than Trey, sitting right next to you. Do you call Trey a kid?
Absolutely. Yeah. Because in the wrestling business, I don't know if you know this, but the young guys, they're called young boys.
Yeah,
they are
I know.
treated like kids. Now, in the most respectful way possible. Am I disrespectful, you, Trey?
No, not at all.
Absolutely not.
Not at all. One of my biggest motivations.
There you go. But what I'm telling you right now is that you have to pay your dues in this business. And Zach, more than anybody else, slipped by without having to do that. Hey, Des, did Zach ever drive?
Never.
Who drove?
Me. And you.
Exactly. We did the driving. Zach sat there and slept. But it was okay because he was the kid. And then we get to the shows. Zach gets to be in the main event at a lot of these shows at 21, 22 years old. I'm going to tell you right now, Sami, one of your guys, straight up told these kids, you guys don't know how lucky you are to have JT and Dave because we didn't have it as easy as you guys have it now.
You know, that's a little behind the curtain, as it were, right? This is things that go on in the car, in the locker room, before and after shows. So I don't like the direction this is headed. So all three of you have big matches coming up this Friday at A Killer Xmas.
Yeah, all three of you have huge matches coming up. Trey Miguel, you're going one-on-one with Aaron Williams. Speaking of OI4K, what's been going on with Aaron Williams in Ohio is for Killers?
Do you want to take this one? You got nothing?
If I knew what was up, we wouldn't be asking what's up.
Yeah.
It would be a solved issue. I have no idea what's going on with Aaron. I don't know where my Uncle Aaron, and I say that in quotes, is right now. I know that the men that I can trust are right by my side, and then a third is overseas right now, and he'd be here defending me if he could.
Does it bother you to see Aaron hit that ring wearing OI4K gear?
Absolutely.
Is he out of the family?
No.
Let's just say Aaron's been very hard to get a hold of recently.
Yeah.
And I don't have a lot of information to give more than that.
And Trey, I have to ask you, correct me if I'm wrong, but you always looked up to Aaron as a leader or father even, right?
I look up to every single one of these killers.
And what is your state of mind right now heading into this match, facing Aaron, somebody you looked up to so much throughout your career?
In my eyes, he's the brother, he's the uncle I want to forgive, but we haven't reached out, or we haven't heard back. We don't know what's going on. I don't know how to think going into this match with him.
And, I have to ask you, is that the right state? You're going in there with the baddest man alive, one-on-one. Perhaps the most successful wrestler in the history of Rockstar Pro Wrestling. Are you in the right state of mind when you have those questions in the back of your head, facing a man like this one-on-one?
All I need to know going into this match is what happened the last time we faced off, is he is willing to stop at nothing to get what he wants. What he wants right now, I don't know. But I know that I have to protect my own ass, and I will do just that.
Well, you won't be the only one in that ring who's there to protect you, because the special guest referee, I almost said enforcer, but the special guest referee
Let's see how it goes.
is a legend, a living legend.
Absolutely.
In Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. What do you think that's going to add to this match? Because in the past, you've said it yourself. Aaron has stopped at nothing. He's hit you with flaming nunchucks. He's held on to submissions well past the point of legality. And here comes Steamboat. What's he going to bring?
Honestly, to me, it's like he won't even be there. It's an honor to have him in the same ring, but this is a personal issue that I have to settle, and Steamboat won't stop me.
So you're focused 100% on Aaron Williams, nothing else, just winning this matchup.
And getting to the bottom of what is bugging him.
Right.
So can you forgive him if you defeat him at A Killer Xmas?
Right now, I feel like he doesn't respect me. And whether it be on the inside of the family or the outside of the family, he will respect me after A Killer Xmas.
I like that. I like that attitude.
All right, well, let's move on because, as I said, all three of you are in matches at A Killer Xmas. And Dezmond Xavier, it's been a while since you've last been on this podcast. In fact, maybe not the last time, but the first time you were ever on the show was right before you left to go live in Florida and train under the man that you will be facing this Friday, you versus Sami Callihan.
Yeah. This match is definitely something special and different for me. A dream match, definitely. Sami's been somebody that I've looked up to for a very, very long time. And for me to have the opportunity to step into the ring one-on-one, to prove myself for everything that he has helped me build to become, is definitely special. But I'm not going to take it lightly in any way, shape, or form at all. I'm in there with the death machine. It's a man that has gone around the world decimating, chopping, bicycle kicking, and kissing many people around the world. And honestly, to be a part of that list is rather special. But I also want to be on a very special list of individuals that have beaten him. So on that night, I plan on joining that list.
And obviously, Sami Callihan must think highly of you to have helped train you in your career in the past. I don't know where he stands now with the foundation, the Kristen Revolution. Do you have any idea about
Kristen
that?
the Revolution, please. And, that's our business. You think I'm going to give away secrets to Sami's opponent at A Killer Xmas and tell him what sort of mindset he's in?
I guess I should have known better.
Of course not.
But in Dez's case, I don't think he cares where Sami Callihan stands, right?
Honestly, it doesn't matter. Because I know that he really only has one gear that he mainly stays in when he's in that ring. And that's Destroy. Mm-hmm. So I prepared for said gear that he's going to be in.
Well, as you've said before, Mark, Sami's been everywhere.
Yes.
From the underground to the biggest company in the world. Mm-hmm. You just got back from your first international tour as a professional wrestler. What do you think that's done for you going into this match? Has it worn you out? Has it given you more confidence? Something else entirely?
The trip overseas was something of a turning point for me. Not only was it something that I was able to add to my resume as a professional wrestler, but it was also something that I can add as a person. For me to travel to another country because of something that I've established myself as a wrestler is something that is special to me. So, coming back with a different style of opponents that I have worked and working in front of a different style crowd, it's taught me a lot, and it's rejuvenated my motivation on becoming a better wrestler.
Well, I think you're going to have to bring your absolute very best when you step into that ring with the Space Cat himself, with the Death Machine, Sami Callihan. He's not going to accept anything less. You know that, right?
I already know this. I already know the standards that he has for me. And I also know that I have the capabilities of exceeding those.
That's going to be a great matchup for sure.
Pretty confident.
Both of those matches, but let's not forget, there's another matchup for the Rockstar Pro World Championship.
Our main event.
Yep, Zachary Wentz defends against the Iron Manager, JT Davidson. What a unique matchup this is. This will be a very interesting one. And JT, I have to ask you, you mentioned about this a little earlier in the podcast, and last week you said that OI4K, you and Dave, helped create Zachary Wentz the way he is now, right?
Turned into Frankenstein's monster, apparently.
Yeah. Can you touch up on that a little bit?
Look, I've said everything that I think I can say on that matter.
Yeah.
I think Zach, turned into a spoiled brat. And like I said last week, I think it's time for him to be taken out to the woodshed. And at the end of the day, you got a misbehaving kid, you take away his toys. And his best toy right now is that Rockstar Pro World Championship.
Now, JT, we know you're not a normal manager by any means. You're the Iron Manager. You've been in the ring. You've been in street fights before here in Rockstar Pro Wrestling. But still, you're not an active wrestler.
No.
And now you're stepping in there with a world champion.
Yeah, how do you feel about going into that matchup?
Look, if I said that I wasn't at least a little bit nervous, I'd be lying. I'm not an active wrestler anymore. I haven't been for years. Zach is at the level now where he could be considered world class. He is faster. He is more technically proficient. He has an MMA background. So yeah, there's things to be nervous about. But at the end of the day, my belief is this. I think I can take more punishment than him. And you want to talk about being a sick dude? I'm as sick as they come.
And you certainly have history in street fights before. This is a Dayton street fight, so Zachary Wentz, you like to call him the kid in OI4K when he wasn't there. We're going to see if he is a man, right?
That's exactly what this comes down to. Is he a man? Bork?
Absolutely he is.
Okay. Well, like Mark just said at A Killer Xmas, the measuring stick of him being a man is the Iron Manager, JT Davidson.
And it couldn't do it in the ring, right? It had to be a street fight. Couldn't play by the rules.
Oh,
How many times have I been jumped over the past month?
With steel
I don't
chairs.
know.
from
How's your
behind.
back feeling?
Okay.
You might want to watch it, your Bork.
Okay.
You might want to watch it.
Just asking questions.
I see what you're trying to do there.
I mean, I'm just asking, how did Zach exactly get that belt again?
Yeah.
Was that in a one-on-one match?
No.
Yeah, he
With-
cashed in.
without getting jumped?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah, it seems honestly like there's a certain individual that is pulling a lot of strings to ensure that somebody is getting what they want.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense when one of your teammates is the booker of the company.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
I'm not sure what that has to do with anything.
oh
That artist guy, right?
yeah. What's his name? He
Not
used to
Bork,
be a part
he's
of
a
Irish
loser.
Airborne. Not Dave.
Guys, I think his name's Jay Chris.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's him.
Yeah, and I don't
So
even
you're going to
think-
blame it all on Jake? It's Jake's fault that Dave lost the world title to Zach?
Well, it is Jake's revolution, so let's see.
Let's say that correctly.
It's not Jake's fault that Dave lost anything. It's that
It's Jake's fault for the way that Dave lost the Rockstar Pro World Championship.
Seems to me I hear a lot of blame going around, especially toward my family. Maybe we should wrap this thing up.
Well, I just know that there are going to be 3 great matches and then some at A Killer Xmas. All 3 of these men in huge singles matches coming up this Friday at A Killer Xmas. Guys, thanks so much for being a part of the podcast here this month, and good luck to all your matches this Friday.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Had enough Backstage Pass? Too bad! Here's more!
Well, there you have it. The Iron Manager, JT Davidson, Trigger Trey Miguel, and the Cardiac Kid, or Unleashed, I don't know what the hell he's going by now, Dezmond Xavier, all throwing in their 2 cents on A Killer Xmas.
Yeah, those are all 3 of those matches, huge matches coming up at A Killer Xmas. I'll tell you what, this whole card for A Killer Xmas, it's stacked, Bork.
It's going to be pretty incredible. And it all begins for those pro wrestlers out there, whether you're lacing your boots up for the first time or whether you have 10 years of experience, I don't care. There is a workshop right here at 1106 East 3rd Street in Dayton, Ohio, before A Killer Xmas. You're going to learn from Sami Callihan, from the franchise Shane Douglas, and from Ricky the Dragon Steamboat himself.
That's unbelievable.
That is so much experience. That is
Yes.
3 generations of wrestlers from
Right.
which you can learn. Like I said, I don't care how long you've been in business, you're going to learn from these men. It's $45 if you sign up tonight or tomorrow.
That's a steal.
And it's, $40 if you sign up ahead of time, $45 if you sign up upon arrival. Well worth the money.
I mean, just look at all the experience of those 3 men that are going to be at a seminar. I mean, I don't know if I've ever heard of a seminar like this with 3 names of that caliber all there to help teach the youngsters here in professional wrestling. And the thing is, this isn't just your regular seminar. There's also a reward for the seminar as well.
That's right. The Dragon himself, Steamboat, is going to choose from amongst the participants in the seminar. He's going to hand select competitors to compete in the Dragon Invitational here at A Killer Xmas.
I mean, that says it all right there. You can pay $40 or $45 to get invaluable experience from those three men and get a shot to perform on an iPay-per-view. That says it all right there.
It's huge. And not only is Douglas taking part in that seminar, in that training session, he will also return as a part of A Killer Xmas.
I mean, A Killer Xmas is shaping up to be huge. Those three men we talked about going to be at A Killer Xmas. The Dragon Invitational is going to happen. And also a match we talked about earlier, the Spotlight segment, Dezmond Xavier going one-on-one with a returning Sami Callihan. What a match that's going to be.
That has show-stealing potential. I'll
No
say
doubt.
that right now. Additionally, as you heard before, Aaron Williams versus Trey Miguel. A lot of bad blood behind this one, and that's why our owners have arranged for Ricky Steamboat to be the special guest referee. I don't know anyone other than the Dragon who would be able to keep these two under control during this match.
Absolutely, and what an honor it is to have Ricky Steamboat as a referee at a Rockstar Pro Wrestling event, but I don't think that's going to be on the forefront of the mind of either Aaron Williams or Trey Miguel in this matchup.
Not at all. Now, let's get to my family, Mark.
Okay.
I know Sami Callihan, we talked about him a little bit. You know, I know he's a part of the family too.
Okay.
He's just not here as often.
You don't seem to be giving him as much respect,
you know
but
what?
okay.
Does Sami need me to talk him up? He
Absolutely
is
not.
internationally
I don't think anybody does.
renowned.
That's correct.
He doesn't need my help.
I agree with you on that.
But let me talk about one half of the Rockstar Pro Tag Team Champions.
Or is it a third?
Fine. 1/3 of the Rockstar Pro Tag Team Champions. You happy?
I am happier.
Jake Christ will face Matt Cross.
What?
M-Dog returns to Rockstar Pro.
Yeah, this is going to be great. This is a dream match right here.
Absolutely.
Matt Cross going one-on-one with Jake Christ. This has show-stealing potential, as pretty much all these matches do.
Any match with a Revolution member in it is going to be a show stealer.
I can't wait to see Jake Christ go one-on-one with Matt Cross, but that's not even the main event of this show.
No, it is not.
And the main event, it will be a Dayton street fight for the Rockstar Pro World Championship. Zachary Wentz will defend against the Iron Manager, JT Davidson. What a matchup. What a unique matchup this is going to be. We've seen how tough JT is in the past. Let's see if he can bring the Rockstar Pro World Championship to OI4K.
Did you notice how quickly JT shut up when I asked him about his back?
I did notice he didn't want to talk about it very much.
Yeah.
I mean, Zachary Wentz, he's been attacking JT Davidson week after week with steel chairs to the back, with curb stomps to the back of his head. I mean, he's been beating him down week after week. But JT Davidson, don't discount him in this matchup. We know how tough JT is.
I know he's tough.
Yeah.
But he's getting in there with a world champion who knows that Davidson has a bad back. You know, JT, I thought he was delusional before. This has cemented that belief.
Well, Zachary Wentz thinks awful highly of himself. He better not be overconfident heading into this matchup with JT. He better not be overlooking JT Davidson just because he's a manager.
No such thing as overconfidence for the sickest dude in all the land.
Well, that remains to be seen. All I know is that A Killer Xmas is going to be great. There's no way anybody wants to miss this show coming up.
That's right. It will be Friday. That is December 2nd.
Yeah.
You had to think about it. I knew.
Well, I think we both thought about it, but go ahead.
It's Friday, December 2nd, right here at 1106 East 3rd Street in Dayton, Ohio. We are going to open doors early so that you can come meet and greet Steamboat himself.
Yeah, every ticket gets you the opportunity to have a meet and greet with Ricky Steamboat. I mean, that's a great deal right there.
That's right. So be here at 6 p.m. sharp for A Killer Xmas. You're not going to regret it.
Absolutely not. Hey, this is a pretty good episode. You're doing really well. You're getting better each and every time, man. I'm telling you.
Would you stop it?
What?
I know that is the most insincere compliment ever.
Okay. I'll stop complimenting you then.
Thank you.
That's all for this episode. Be sure to come back for another edition of Backstage Pass, Rockstar Pro Wrestling's official podcast.